Hello, Aries. Welcome to your February 1st through 15th soul session. I am Marlo, if you're new, and if you're family, welcome back, my friend, and whatnot, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and jump into you guys' cards and see what's going on with you guys from the 1st through the 15th of February. So let's jump in. I was going to say, if these cards ever come out. All right. Okay. First card out, we have, oh my gosh, why is my autofocus suddenly doing this all of a sudden? There we go. We have the Sun and the reverse. I feel like I want to take that one. And that, of course, is Leo energy. The next card that we have out is the Five of Swords. If my autofocus would be a nice machine. There we go. So what it is looking like, Aries, coming into February from January with the Sun in the reverse, there's a tad bit of half-hearted happiness. So you being in a place where you're not necessarily feeling emotionally, spiritually fulfilled. And ironically, with this Five of Swords coming up after it, I feel like and it's interesting to say it this way because I'm pretty sure kids don't watch my channel. I hope to God that kids don't watch my channel. But wow, and the rest of the cards came out in one fell swoop. It feels to me like you guys are kind of acting out, and this very well may not be something that you're even consciously aware of. Because I feel like with this unfulfillment, and I just heard something else entirely because my guides legit said, and I rarely say that for the Sun in the reverse, it's more of a Four of Swords thing to me. It's potentially burnout for you guys too, where you're overexerting yourself, but I still kind of feel like that's one and the same because it's a level of you being unfulfilled. And then there could be a level for some of you where there's a level of overexertion teetering on burnout, or you guys may feel completely burned out. But the answer to that is because coming from January and into the first week of February, at least, the thing that you've been pouring into has not been pouring into you. So it's like you're doing something that's unfulfilling. So it's not necessarily something that makes your heart sing, sets your soul on fire. It's not your passion. It's not really like a core value or desire for you. But with this Five of Swords, it feels to me almost as if you're acting out, where it's just different. Using the term acting out, the first thing that comes to your mind typically is you think about kid. But I mean, as adults, we act out too, because if we're feeling stuff on the inside and we have no idea what's going on, because like you can look around at your life externally and it's like, okay, nothing's wrong, right? It's like, why do I feel this way? So it's kind of like, I don't even want to go as far as saying dangerous, but it's partaking in less than stellar behavior in the sense where you could, my mind wants to say self-sabotage, but I feel like I need to be more specific. It could be something where, you're trying to save money for something, but you're spending it recklessly, or, you're at work and, someone comes into your office and asks you a question. You're like, what? Like, what do you want? Right? You're snapping at your kids, you're snapping at your partner, like whatever the case. And it's almost kind of like feeling on nerves edge or like very irritated. And you could potentially not know why that is, because it's like, it feels to me almost like a feeling of like, I just feel off, or I'm just pissed, I'm just annoyed, I'm just aggravated. But the source of all of this, and this is something that's carrying in from January, is that whatever situation, circumstance you guys are in, whether that's friendship, relationship, job, where you live, whatever the case, is not really what you want, and it's not really in alignment with you. But I feel that there's like an element of expectation with that. So it's kind of this thought where I should be happy, like if you have a really good job, but it's not, and I'm thinking about this guy I knew years ago who was like a pharmacist and became like a photographer, right? And it's like, most people would think you spend so much time and money going to pharmacy school, why would you do photography? And it's like, yeah, you make a lot of money as a pharmacist, but if your passion is photography, then, your passion can make a way for you. But it feels something like that where you've invested in something so much, and it's like, I really shouldn't complain because I have it really good, and because I'm making money, whatever, but I'm not happy. But I don't really feel like you guys are at the place to where you're having that conscious thought. I mean, some of you could be, and the only way I could see that would be is if So sorry to interrupt you guys while you're listening to the show, but I wanted to tell you guys about our new partnership with BetterHelp. If you haven't heard of them, it's an online resource in which you can find your very own friendly local neighborhood therapist, no matter where you are in the world. You sign up, and within 24 hours, they match you with a therapist that's right for you. And you can talk to your counselor every week via phone or video chat. You can also text them between sessions. If you or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Now let's get back to the show. You know you're not happy there, and it's like should-oughts and supposed tos that are keeping you there. Like, but, you know, my bills, my mortgage, my car note, like this and that. And it's like, I got to pay bills. So it's not really about my happiness. But because of that, that's why that acting out is happening. I hope and pray that that makes sense. Now, the next card that you guys have is, why is my autofocus all of a sudden being a dingus? We have the World in the reverse. And of course, that's Taurus energy, Scorpio energy, Leo, as well as Aquarius energy. And now on my table, you guys have 2 Leo energies. We're not even in Leo season. I don't know why Leo is coming up in everyone's reading. If you have Leo in your chart, check out Leo. I told the same thing to Capricorn, even if you don't have it in your, well, I mean, the Leo full moon is coming up. So that could be like an energy that's coming out that's relevant because of that, because of actions that would behoove you to take under the Leo full moon energy, and that's on the 6th of February. But I still would watch it anyway, because I feel like you guys will kind of gain something out of it since you have like 2 major arcana Leo energies, you know what I'm saying? But the World in the reverse for me is a card of unfinished business, right? So in the first week of February, that's really where this is coming to. I'm really seeing it more or less in these 2 energies. With this sun and, oh, wow, my guys just said the whole thing, child. While I'm sitting up here getting irritated by my autofocus. Oh, Lord. But the thing that my guide said specifically is the Leo energy as an archetype, whether you have it in your chart or not. It's like there's a need, and I mean, y'all are all fire signs and things. But anyway, but it's the Leo energy as like an archetype of like, you needing to take the initiative to get yourself into alignment. And that's really what the unfinished business would be. So this would be something, whether it's conscious or it's subconscious, Aries, that you know that whatever it is that you're fraternizing with, it's pulling you or has pulled you out of alignment with yourself, like and I keep talking about my course and the quiz that's on my website, with your core values. You know what I'm saying? And this is something that would behoove you to get back into alignment with. So that's really the unfinished business. It doesn't really have much to do with what's happening external to you, what people are doing around you. It's like you needing to go back to home base and to get clear with yourself, to recognize like where it is you got off track, where you stepped out of alignment with, your values, or with feeling that your passions or your desires aren't necessarily something that you need to honor, or why it is that you're valuing, should ought supposed to's over what it is that you feel would truly bring you happiness. Now, coming into the second week of February, the first card that we have is the 3 of Pentacles and the reverse. Child luck. And then we got the 6 of Cups and the reverse. And then we have the 7 of Wands in the reverse. So the whole thing is here, my beautiful Aries, in the second week of February, I feel all of this, like it's a very disempowered energy. And I totally get that, because it's like if we're starting out with the sun in the reverse, it's like, especially if you guys are experiencing burnout and you're tired and you're exhausted, it's like just even the thought of even doing anything in said direction is that like it's just too much. But I feel, and this is kind of you guys falling into the same energy signature I've been seeing in the second week for literally every sign I've done prior to you guys. It's like the solution to your problem doesn't lie with other people. You feel what I'm saying? Because I feel what's happening inside of you guys, yes, with the 5 of Swords, you're externalizing it. It's acting out. But the thing that you want to look at is like when we're acting out, or, we're burnt out, disengaged, we're snappy, we flashing out on people, whatever the case, that's merely the symptom of the deeper problem. And I feel in the second week of February, starting out with the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse, it's about you guys getting to, well, not directly getting to it, but starting the process of getting to the root of the problem. And that's going to require you to deconstruct some things. You know what I'm saying? To really get to the heart of the issue. Because like I'm saying, there's some of you guys, if like my personal development masters out there, it's like there's a lot of you guys coming into this that are aware. You know, you may just have the feeling. You may not know specifically what to call it. There may be others of you where you have no idea. But the second week of February is a time for you guys to really start to kind of deconstruct, and with the Six of Cups in the reverse, kind of backtrack of looking like, when is the last time that I felt happy? You know what I'm saying? And I said that a wise man once told me, I can't remember, I think that was an Aquarius's reading. I was saying advice that I got before is, whenever you're lost in life, always go back to the last thing God told you. You know what I'm saying? Like the last thing that it was that spirit told you to do, or that you felt inspired to do or inspired to pursue, you want to go back to that and you want to build up from that point, right? Because I feel you guys have just kind of gotten off track, but it's not like a horrible, horrible thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just we all, and that's like where this resonates a lot with Leo, is I was telling Leo, it's like with them, they just kind of lost sight of what they were doing. It's like once upon a time, they were very, very clear. And that might have been Leo. I said that too. They were very, very clear of where it was that they were headed, and they just kind of lost sight of that. And I think the beautiful thing with that, looking at it astrologically, or moonologically, I guess, if you look at like with the full moon, under the full moon, there's always manifestations of things, and there's clarity that ends up coming to us with challenges that we're having in our life. And that very well could be something that's made very clear to you guys under the Leo full moon or you can use that energy to kind of ride the wave of it to kind of do this deep dive. But I don't really feel like it's too deep, because this doesn't feel to me with the Three of Pentacles in the reverse and the Six of Cups that it's like, what's the word I'd be looking for? It doesn't feel to me like childhood trauma or something, right? It doesn't feel like I'm telling y'all like, oh, you need to go back to your childhood and figure out like your relationship with your parents and how does that, you know, correlate or relate to where it is that I am now. Now, I feel like this could literally be something for you guys that and I mean, even if we utilize Leo season, it's like if you thought back to Leo season, which is in July, if you think back to July and just use that kind of as like a marker point, others of you who are really savvy with moons and things, you guys can look at how when the Leo new moon was. So, and that's going to be in the same time frame, but looking at that time frame to kind of give you insight of to where it is that you may have gotten off track. But I feel like for each person, it's going to be something different, because I feel it's something that you'd be I don't even want to say dwelling, because if it's something, I don't want to say it's something you're dwelling on, because dwelling is a conscious action. Like you're aware that you're ruminating over something or you're dwelling on something past tense. But what I feel is kind of like the cheat code to this is there's something past tense that was a level of disappointment that you guys may have wanted things to turn out differently, or there was a time in the past when you had the first aha that you really weren't happy where it is that you are now. But I feel out of obligation, you felt you had to stick with it to the end. You know what I'm saying? And that would be another good marker point if, I'm saying if, but I mean, you guys would literally know what that is. Like if you had, and this is hypothetical, but if you had like a first choice school and you didn't get into the first choice school and you were so disappointed about that, you were just like, whatever, I'm just going to go to the second choice school. You know what I'm saying? Or just pick something at random. And then when you get there, you fast forward to a year later or whatever, and you're feeling this stuff. And it's like you never really addressed the fact that you were disappointed about not getting into the first school and that you just settled for this one. But there's still an option, because I feel like that's the thing that my Aries wouldn't be seeing. Because like I say, with the Seven of Wands you guys have coming into the 15th, it's like you're in a disempowered place. So I feel like there's opportunity here that isn't being seen, because it's like it's feeling like all of the stuff is coming at you, or like you're stuck and you can't get out of it. You're at a disadvantage. But the truth is, the advantage is realizing that, yeah, you didn't get into that first choice school then, right? You went to this school, you freaking hate it. right? This is all hypothetical. But you still have the opportunity to reapply to the first school. You know what I'm saying? Or to go to an entirely different school altogether, you know, or change your major if need be. So I feel like there's a lot of options, but the reason why you guys are kind of stuck and why I feel this acting out is happening, because this is kind of like the energy for the first 15 days is trying to get you to see that you feel disempowered and unfulfilled. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're pouring into something that isn't pouring back into you. And it's more or less trying to get you to see like, okay, this is what's happening, right? So I do need to kind of dig and see, what is it that I haven't confronted? Like, what is it that I haven't, you know, addressed or accepted, or, you know, what feeling is it that I've been suppressing in reference to, you know, whatever this is for you guys specifically. And I feel that's what kind of starts to open things up for you. So the first 2 weeks of February for my Aries, it's a great deal of like self-honesty and a little bit of self-reflection and needing to confront something from the past, because it's like you don't want to, because even if you stayed exactly where you were, depending on what your situation is, like I've said for some other signs too, it's just a need for a perspective shift, because I just have this nagging feeling that feels like a lot of what it is that Aries is kind of caught up in right now has been in, what's the word I'm looking for? Not retaliation. It's been in not even opposition. It's almost like everything that it is that you've done or that has got you to this particular point, it's things that you've done that have been like in against whatever it is that happened. You feel what I'm saying? And the reason why there would be unfulfillment is because it wasn't like your first choice. It wasn't your ideal path. It's not what you really wanted. It's just something that you went with in opposition to something else, if that makes sense. I hope and pray that that's making sense. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the only other example I could come up with that to kind of make that make sense of it being like in opposition. I really don't want to use that word, but, or it's like all the words that are coming to me, I'm like, that is not the proper word. But it's like with this being in opposition to something would be kind of like if you did get accepted, and I don't know why I'm talking about college. If you did get accepted into your dream school and you and your ex broke up and you and your ex were supposed to go to the dream school, and because your ex was going there and they broke up with you, you decided to not go to that school and go to another school only because that person was going there and you hate the school. It's like that's you choosing the school in opposition to the other because your ex is there. So the reason why you're unfulfilled is because you made the decision to put yourself out of alignment for what you really wanted because of someone else. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's that kind of vibe. Yes. And then at the bottom of you guys' deck, okay, there we go. You have the Six of Swords. So why all of this is happening is for you to move forward. Like, the whole thing is, I feel like this is a cycle that's intended for Aries to close, but there's just a little unfinished business to where there's something you guys need to face. Like, it's almost like an honesty that Aries needs to have with themselves from a decision that they made, something that transpired, or, you know, something that hit you some time ago that you weren't ready to accept at the particular time. It's like the first 15 days of February is the time to confront and to face whatever that is, so that you can move forward without baggage and without unfinished business, and you can move forward more in alignment with the truth of who you are, not carrying all of this stuff with you. So it feels to me a lot like a re-identification, if you will, you know, cutting ties with the past and empowering yourself through re-identification. I hope and pray that that makes sense, Aries. This is an interesting reading. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's been your soul session for the 1st through the 15th. The second half of it is going to be available on all of my platforms on the 15th. So let me know what you think in the comments. I love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends.